Tonight, the country recorded 77 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths yesterday, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 47,396, with 22,898 active, and the death toll now at 863. Dancehall entertainer Moses Davis, more popularly known as Beanie Man, has been fined $150,000 for breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act. Residents in sections of Westmoreland and mostly in West End in Negril are urging the National Water Commission to remedy the water shortage they are having for some time now.
Right now, it's peer problem because I didn't research. I in particular didn't receive a notification from the National Water Commission addressing us about any water shortages that would be happening in this area, and it has impacted us immensely.
I'm quite appalled that water is being wasted because I get so many messages on Facebook, on Instagram, on my WhatsApp from citizens who have been without water. And being that we're in the middle of a pandemic and the government is stressing for persons to sanitize, it is a very critical commodity at this time.
And Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Montego Bay Bypass project is of national importance.
There is no question that the Montego Bay Bypass is strategic. It is pioneering. It is of national importance.
Good evening. The country recorded 77 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths yesterday, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 47,396, with 22,898 active, and the death toll now at 863. The deaths were of 2 people from Clarendon, a 63-year-old woman and a 56-year-old man, as well as a 68-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew. The new cases were recorded in Clarendon and Hanover, 1 each, Kingston and St. Andrew 13, Manchester 3, Portland, St. Mary, St. Elizabeth, St. Anne and Trelawney 2 each, St. James 5, St. Thomas 12, St. Catherine 21 and Westmoreland 11. The new cases range in age from 1-year-old to 86 years old, and the gender breakdown is 39 females and 38 males. At the same time, there were 157 recoveries for a total of 23,281. Dancehall entertainer Moses Davis, more popularly known as Beanie Man, has been fined $150,000 Jamaican dollars for breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act. The fine was imposed when he appeared in the St. Elizabeth Parish Court today. Beanie Man had pleaded guilty last month. The 47-year-old international dancehall star was charged by the Black River Police last year, December, for hosting an illegal party at a location in Shrewsbury District, St. Elizabeth, on Sunday, November 29, 2020. He was arrested and charged for breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act and the Noise Abatement Act. In April, he pleaded not guilty to breaching the Noise Abatement Act, and that offense was dismissed. Residents in sections of Westmoreland, mostly in West End in Negril, are urging the National Water Commission to remedy the water shortage they are having for some time now. When our news team visited the area on the weekend, one resident, Kalia Sutton, explained that her family has to buy water and that it has become a strain as it is very costly.
Actually, to tell the truth, it's not really good because my mother has a lot of problems. Her back, her shoulders. It's really hard, and my Uncle Neil, it's a little hard for him because he has to work, and mother has to babysit children, and we don't hardly have enough money to buy water. So to bring water from We only get this morning to bring water from over here to there to fill up a lot of things and wash clothes. But it's really hard for mommy because she hardly have money because of the coronavirus. So yeah, it's a hard. Lots of water being wasted, but we take a lot of advantage of it this morning.
Also, when you're seeing that running there this morning, you said, wow, it's
River.
like a river.
Yes. Even this morning, there, it came like a fall.
Come like a fall.
Yes. We fill a lot of jugs and buckets. Even wash a lot of clothes.
What not?
I like the Water Commission to produce water in all our homes so that we can stay safe and have water.
Another resident, Cliff Reynolds, explained that to be in the middle of a pandemic and not have water is serious.
The situation with this water issue is, over the years, we have always been told different times that it's because of the height of the tourist season, the amount of tourists that is down here, and there is not adequate water to suit both tourists and residents. We have many different reasons over the years not to accept most of what we've been told. But to make matters worse, this year we are in the middle of a pandemic. Tourism is more or less down very much all over the country, especially the famous international community Negril. And it's a disgrace. Residents like myself, we are suffering for water. And while we are suffering for water, there is water flowing from the mains that are not attended to by the NWC. And during this operation, we're still getting bills at the end of the month. And there's no water trucks, no consideration for the residents. The big hotels get the attention from the Water Commission. In that, when you have water shortage, they would get the attention of where they would get support from water trucks and so on. The residents watch these trucks drive to the hotels. And for us on the West End, we don't even see the trucks because we're at the end with no consideration. But there's one thing that is sure, at the end of the month, that bill is coming.
Tashana Leslie, another resident from the area, also explained that due to the water shortage, small businesses are not opened.
Right now, it's peer problem because I in particular didn't receive a notification from the National Water Commission addressing us about any water shortages that would be happening in this area. And it has impacted us immensely just for example, by small businesses we can't open, and with the curfew going on because of coronavirus, it's even worse right now because we're at home most of the times. Those of who are not working, we're at home most of the times. We have children that are at home 24/7 because school is out. We cannot operate properly. Those who don't have any tank or who were not informed cannot have any water to cook, flush their toilet, or just do anything that's basic. People who are operating their businesses, it's very hard for them to commence with their business because there's no water. If you don't have water, you cannot function. And I'm appealing to the National Water Commission, saying that they could do much better to aid the citizens of Jamaica who have been supporting their business for so long.
And Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, Moreland Wilson, in acknowledging that he is aware of the situation, commented that water being wasted at a main that our news team discovered during our visit to the area is very appalling.
NWC does truck water, and they have been, their service has improved over the past few months during Corona, but it's basically impossible to truck all the water for the constituents of Westmoreland Western. In fact, it's not something that we can even contemplate doing based on the resources that the government has. So the most appropriate measure is to ensure that we restore the water supply system and also to upgrade the water supply system to service all the citizens. We have roughly 35,000 voters and over 90,000 persons who would have lived within the parish of Westmoreland. it's going to be impossible to chuck water to all those people. So we really have to get our water supply system up and running in the shortest possible period. This pump house would supply persons in the Whitehall area and going back into Mount Airy and into Orange Hill. It also would have some feeding right into West End, but you do have different main pipes or different supply systems, so this would supply mostly those up on the hill. I want to say to my constituents, I am aware, I live in the constituency, I am aware that there is no water. Whenever the NWC and whenever NWC or any water issues that emerges, I also feel it. So it's not that I'm just representing you, I'm also very concerned that I am without water as well. So I am aware of the issue. I am speaking to the relevant authorities to see how best we can get our water supply back up and running in the shortest possible period.
Mr. Wilson says despite the NWC's ongoing drive to truck water to different areas in the constituency, it is not enough to serve all residents. 43-year-old Margarita Carter of Lincoln Road, Brownstown in St. Anne is suspected to have drowned at Fisherman's Beach, Discovery Bay in the parish yesterday. Reports from the Discovery Bay police are that at about 12:10 p.m., Carter had gone swimming. However, residents later saw her body floating in the water. They assisted her to the shore and called the police. Upon the arrival of the police, Carter was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Investigations continue. 2 men died in 2 weekend crashes in Trelawney, the police have reported. An unidentified man died of injuries he sustained in a motor vehicle collision at the Duncan's bypass in Trelawney on Saturday. Reports from the Falmouth police are that at about 8:15 a.m., the driver of a Honda motorcycle allegedly overtook a motor vehicle and collided with a Toyota Hilux motor truck. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, the unidentified man was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The other driver was admitted in stable condition. Investigations continue. Meanwhile, yesterday, 26-year-old Dembo Gassama of Pigot Street, St. James, died of injuries he sustained in a motor vehicle crash along the Salt Marsh Main Road in Trelawney. Reports from the Falmouth police are that at about 1:10 a.m., Gassama was driving along the roadway when he allegedly lost control of his motor vehicle, which crashed into a ditch. Gassama was reportedly thrown from the vehicle and sustained injuries to his head and his body. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Investigations continue. In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Montego Bay Bypass project is of national importance. The Jamaica Labour Party leader was speaking at the opening of the party's constituency office in central Kingston when he explained that China Harbour, that started the project, will be given the preference to continue the building of the bypass through to its completion.
Our budget and our capital expenditure is such that we don't need to go the route of a loan. That is a big man decision. That is a mature decision. That is a bold decision. For once in our life, as a country, we make a bold step to say we can do it out of our own resources and we don't have to borrow to do it. There is no question that the project is of national importance, and therefore it fit the criteria established in law for the government to act. All that we have done is to say that the party that started the project with us, China Harbour, that has invested and done time with developing and the design, that they be given the rightful option of executing the project. Now, there is a valid argument to be made. How do we ensure value for money when we proceed along this option. Now, I am of the view that in proceeding along this option, we are already better off than if we had gone the bilateral route of borrowing to fund the project directly. We are already better off. Because from day one, we are no longer paying interest.
Exactly.
So I have no challenge, with people questioning the project, right? But what I have a problem with is someone saying that the project is of national importance, but at the same time turn around and say, well, you shouldn't do this project of national importance in this way.
Prime Minister Holness further explained why China Harbour was the preferred bidder to complete the project.
There is no question that the Montego Bay bypass is strategic. It is pioneering. It is of national importance. Now, having engaged with the Chinese, and then having looked at our situation, and we took the decision that we would no longer borrow, we will no longer engage in a bilateral agreement for construction, that we will now fund it from our budget. We had to acknowledge that our partners, China Harbour, had already started work on this project, that they would have already spent on this project, that they would have already started the planning and design on the project. So they, more than anyone else, would have an understanding of the project. They would have done so in good faith. It is important for countries in the exercise of their diplomatic policies that good faith always is a part of our negotiations. And so, having looked at the whole picture, China Harbour would have already started in good faith to develop the project. They would have already had the best understanding of the project. They would have already mobilized and placed investments in the project. More than that, we as the government would be spending from our public resources immediately. This is a better arrangement than going bilaterally.
The Prime Minister further disclosed that Jamaican contractors will benefit from this project as well.
Yes, Jamaican contractors are going to benefit. Most of the work will have to be contracted out anyway. It is in China Harbour's interest to subcontract most of the work. And we are going to ensure that that process of subcontracting is transparent as well. Then there is the issue, will Jamaicans get the work? Will they be able to get the unskilled labor? Will they be able to get skilled labor? The answer to that is we have placed in our contract and in the conditions, 90% of the labor must be Jamaicans. Yeah. We have put in place a measure to say that if you're going to use skilled labor, at least you must ensure that there is a Jamaican there through a system of apprenticeship and training that will be able to get the skills transfer and the technology transfer.
And those are some of the stories making news. We will return with other stories as the St. Andrew North Police seized one Taurus 9mm pistol and 12 9mm rounds of ammunition during an operation on Whitehall Avenue, St. Andrew on Saturday, and the historic Bull Bay Police Station will soon be replaced with a modern, fit-for-purpose facility. But first, let's take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.